welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters, you know what, I'll wait, is right here.
I'm not wearing a helmet.
Get the mask is over there.
Mask.
I am Mike Letta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger Retard, bringing you another solid special that you just can't wait to watch. Oh, you know what? I got to do it. I had to do it, folks. I had to get that off my chest. Thank you. Let's start with cleaning up the mess, our show every week. And, you know, an unusual game last night where the New England Patriots start a third-string quarterback and blank the Houston Texans. Unbelievable. Houston Texans, just to throw a couple stats at you real quick, Osweiler, 196 yards, 1 interception, 24-41. You know, running the ball 21 times for Lamar Miller, 80 yards. Not too bad for him, but when it comes to everybody else trying to spread the ball around, they just couldn't get anything going, Houston last night.
You know, they pretty much were ineffective on both sides of the ball. And the scary part really is, you know, they went out and got Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
In the offseason.
They went out
and got Lamar Miller in the offseason. And they went out and put up an offer. But more concerning than that is Jacoby Brissett making his NFL debut, and they put up 27 on him. 27. Is that third-string quarterback? That's a third-string quarterback.
He's not a starter, is he?
He is not a starter. He's not even he's actually the backup to the backup.
Maybe we should call New England and see if we can get a job.
I mean, this has to leave a really bad taste in the mouth of the Houston Texans.
Yep.
I mean, again, winning in Foxborough is very difficult at any time. It would have been fine to go there and lose. That's not the end of the world.
Nope.
To go there and just be completely outclassed offensively and defensively, I got to tell you that there's a long look Bill O'Brien's going to have at his team right now, because it's not good.
Heads should roll. I mean, you look at Brissett's stats from last night. 11 for 19. 11 for 19 for 103 yards the guy did. You know what? They ran the ball effectively. I mean, LeBarry Blunt did his job. 24 carries, 105 yards. Got in the end zone twice. I mean, New England, they're just getting it done. Getting it done.
You know, and we had actually a tweet from one of our loyal viewers, Wayno99, about this, and Wayne asked the show, New England's 3-0 without Gronk and Brady. What's that say about them after they come back? Well,
I mean, basically tells you not only is Belichick going to the Hall of Fame because he's a phenomenal coach, that this team is balanced. I mean, they're doing it with not a stud quarterback. For years, it's been, Tom Brady. And don't get me wrong, Tom Brady, phenomenal quarterback, Hall of Famer, obviously first ballot, one of the best I've ever seen. But in the same sense, you're doing it with second, third string quarterbacks and still playing at that level.
I think the stats now 77-0 at home since I forget when, but the leading after halftime. Listen, the rest of the AFC better be on notice. I mean, this was, again, we talked about it in our preview. Could they go 2-2 in the first 4 games until Brady got back? Maybe even 1-3. They went into Arizona and got a win. Nobody saw that happening.
Nope.
They won a couple games at home. Figure maybe they split there. I got to tell you, man, the rest of the league better be on notice, because when Brady comes back, maybe 4-0, the sky's the limit for
you knew that chip was going to be on his shoulder to begin with, that he hates the league, that he's going to come back and tear it up. So now you have New England, who people thought 2-2, 3-1 at best, losing that Arizona game. Well, they beat the Cardinals with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm. Brissett actually got hurt last night.
Yep.
He tore a tendon in his thumb, I believe. That's the report. So whether now you go find somebody and get a quarterback off the scrap heap for 1 game, or you go Julian Edelman and really shake it up.
Well, our Patriots correspondent, Kevin Zane, couldn't be on the show tonight due to a prior engagement, but I did speak with him earlier today. I want to get his thoughts on the situation, and he told me that it's still way too early to tell with this breaking news about Jacoby. Whoever it is, I would expect a similar short pass-oriented, run-heavy offense next week against Buffalo. I'm just glad that they have 10 days now to prepare and hopefully get healthy. I have the utmost faith in Julian Edelman, so I'll tell you what.
I don't know about that, but you know what? You got the faith in Belichick.
You know,
because they're getting it done.
You know, a little fantasy tidbit there. Obviously, start LeGarrette Blount next week because you're going to get a good number out of him. But how about starting Julian Edelman for some quarterback statistics out of your wide receiver position?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wouldn't that be really interesting?
That's a good point. They do play, and getting back to the Texans, which this show's about, and we're just so hung up on New England.
We're just amazed.
We are stunned. Next week they play Tennessee.
You know what? That should cure some ills.
Yeah, but you know what? Tennessee hasn't been playing that bad this year. Tajay Sharp has been playing well. Mariota looks like he's got the rhythm. I mean, the way they played last night with a third-string quarterback, I don't know if I call that a definite win for the Houston Texans.
You know, the one part to me that stuck out about that game last night was towards the end of the first half when Bill O'Brien's taking a timeout there, really for no reason. I don't know what's going on there. And you know who I feel for personally is DeAndre Hopkins, because you thought that this big signing of Brock Osweiler, I mean, you're seeing now why Elway let him go. You know, and in our in our Broncos preview again, the faith was there. Chris Izzy had the faith that Elway making these decisions. He looks pretty smart right now. Osweiler's not having a very good start to the season.
He looked kind of lost last week.
Yeah, and if they're going to rely on their defense again, that's just bad news for DeAndre Hopkins and any of the fantasy owners of DeAndre Hopkins. He was drafted high.
Yep.
But 4 for 56. Again, you can only expect so much out of a receiver. The quarterback's not getting him the ball. Osweiler looks completely overmatched so far this season.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see what he does against Tennessee, but that's a must-win game.
I mean, the nice thing about Hopkins is you throw the ball and he'll go get it for you.
Sure.
And he was making some phenomenal catches last night.
Talent's unquestioned.
But you talk about Will Fuller, who's come up big this year, and when you're out throwing him and you're leading to the sidelines and you can't get the ball, that's a problem. You got to use the entire receiving core for this Texas team to get rolling. That's what they brought Osweiler in to do, is to spread the field out. I mean, you're talking next week they have Tennessee, and they are at home. Then they go to Minnesota, and then they come home for the Colts, who everybody's down on the Colts right now. I think the Colts might start getting together soon, especially with that aerial attack. So the Texans better start pulling this together. Like you said earlier, O'Brien, he better do some gut checks, and heads might roll soon if he doesn't get this cleaned up.
I mean, I know they were 2-0 coming into the game, and you don't want to overreact to a loss.
Great defense, but defense let them down.
Listen, if you lose in a competitive game here, that's not a problem. There's no shame in losing to the New England Patriots. A lot of teams have done it over the past 15 years. Right. That was just a bad showing all around.
I think the biggest thing with the Texans last night's game is, we could talk about Osweiler missing passes, this and that, and Miller not getting on track. But you're talking about a defense that's top 3, and defenses keep your ass in the game. And they let them down big time yesterday. They were on the field a long time yesterday, don't get me wrong. But 27-0 with a third-string quarterback, you can't get beat. He was running all over the field, too, last night, like Michael Vick was back in the day.
And you saw Romeo Crennel. There was a shot of him just yelling at people after they let Brissett hit that long run for the touchdown.
Yeah.
And they weren't really out of it until towards the end, but the turnovers just killed him.
Yep.
All the I mean, Houston's special teams were abysmal last night, and that helped put them in a situation where they weren't going to come back from.
Well, we will see. This week's Thursday night game, I believe, is Cincinnati.
I think it's Who are they playing?
I'm not sure. We should be more prepared, but that's okay.
I was just amazed.
Hold on. Here, looking at the red light.
By the New England Patriots.
Get distracted by the red light.
We call it
any sense.
We call it cleaning up the mess. I don't think we have mops big enough to clean the mess up right now. And that was a
beatdown last night, and you think a beatdown might be what the Bucs got smashed by the Cardinals last week. But in any sense, 27-0 with a defense like that, you just J.J. Watt coming back. You had Wolfork playing his old team. You had a lot of interesting stories there. And, I can't believe Quentin Depps is still starting.
Yeah. So next week for Thursday night, the Miami Dolphins, who might get their first win of the year this year, this week against Cleveland.
Which means they're going to get smashed on Thursday.
Are going to go over to Cincinnati and play the Bengals.
Wait, that's in Cincinnati?
That is in Cincinnati.
That could be a beatdown. We could be talking about another beat. That's okay, because I'd love to talk to our Cincinnati guy. If you're out there, we can't wait to talk to you. Or we'll bring Georgie back. And we'll talk to George a little bit.
He's got to be unhappy right now.
Oh, he's getting more happy that Bosch didn't pass the physical. We'll get into that when they come on the show and talk about the Heat. We're going to have fun with that one. So
that's right.
That's okay. So like we said, keep an eye out for good stuff coming. We got the NBA, the NHL coming. So I hope you enjoyed cleaning up the mess. But remember, we got always new stuff coming.
And of course, to know where everything is, you can follow us on Twitter at SportsBoxShow. And please feel free to tweet us. We love to hear your questions. We'll get them on the show as well. You can follow us on Facebook, but also make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you get everything as soon as it gets posted.
You got to get on the SportsBox Twitter feed, because we are getting some major news in right away to you. Me and Brian and stuff working hard for you. You got to get on that, at least the Twitter feed, and catch out the good stuff we're spitting out.
For sure.
So thanks for watching Clean Up the Mess. Remember, at the SportsBox, the only opinion that matters. It's right here. Keep an eye out. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.